Linux System Programming Orally book is there, and this is a really good book. You will find all the programs and everything, opening, reading, writing, files, everything available in this. So in addition to this working with the files, what we are going to do today is we are going to work with directory system calls as well. So we have worked with the file system calls like open, read, write, append. So today we are going to work with lseek and this file and directory management. Okay, so this is your assignment. So you have to write a program to append the contents to the end of file using system calls. And to perform this operation, you need to use append flag while opening the file. So this is simple. Also, and you need to show the previous and updated content of a file on the terminal. Okay, so this is a simple program working with the files. Similarly, lseek you have to use to reposition the pointer wherever you want in the file. Okay, to move the pointer in your file. So this is also a simple program. I'm going to discuss with you program to print access the status of a file using start and fstart functions, like last access time of that file, last modify time of that file, last status change time of that file, size of that file, and user ID or user ID of the owner of that file, and file status. Okay, so these are the things that you need to print. Now, so first of all, whenever you are creating a file in your system, so what it does is it creates along with the file a metadata. Okay, and metadata is nothing, it's just the information about the file. Okay, and what does this metadata stores is it it stores the information like where your file is, uh, uh, what is the size of your file, when it was last modified, and who is the owner of that file. So all these information are stored whenever you have created a file, and this is stored in the inode associated with a file. Okay, so let me tell you this. So let's go to this file and directory management. So each and every file is this is given in this book itself, and you will find the program uh, to print the size of the file in this book itself. Rest all you have to make. So procedure will be exactly similar. Okay. So over here, so each file is referenced by an inode. Inode is nothing. It's just a basically numerical. It's associated with the inode number. So basically, whenever you have created a file, so if you have 5 files, each and every file will be having one inode, unique inode number, and this inode will basically refer to all the information or metadata along with your file. So it's both a physical object located on your disk along with that file, and basically it's a data structure in the Linux kernel. Okay, it stores the metadata associated with the file, such as file access permissions, last access timestamp, owner of that file, group, size of that file, location of that file. Okay, so all this information is stored in the inode. So you can obtain the inode number for a file using -i flag to the ls command. So ls -i, if you do this, you will find inode number of that file. Okay, so if you can see, all the files are having unique inode numbers. Sometimes there is error also, sometimes two inode numbers are assigned to a file, but generally it is not the case. Okay, so let's see. So start family is nothing. So basically you have to add header files to work with directory system on your disk. Let's see. So there are three functions: stat, fstat, and lstat. These three functions basically returns the status of the file. So you have to work with stat, fstat and lstat, and you have to see what are the so path and the buffer. So two things are given as input to this function, and what it will return is, so this returns the information. So dot stat function returns the information about the file denoted by the path that is passed. Okay, similarly fstat and lstat. So these three functions are there to return the status of that file, whether that file is, it will tell you whether that file is modified, what time, and so on. Okay, so then you have a struct stat. So basically, each of these functions stored information in a stat structure. Structure, I hope you know. Structure is nothing. It's a data structure where so many data or information is stored in the form of variables as a group. Okay, so each of these functions, fstat, lstat, and stat, these three functions, stat, fstat, and lstat, these three functions stores information in a stat structure which is provided by the user. Okay, so whatever file name is provided by the user, it will store information about that file name. Okay, so you have to include this sys slash stat.h header file in your program. So let's have a look at the simple example. So they have created a simple example. So this is hash include. So this is a C program. Hash include sys types.h, sys stat.h, std.h, and stdio.h. So these four header files are included. Then int argc and argv, these two are for sending names or anything in the command line. Okay, then you have, okay, let's come over here. If argc less than 2, printf error, std error is for standard error. So printing the standard error that that file is not available. Okay, so that argument is not available. So less than equal to 2 means you have not passed anything in your command line. So while executing, you need to pass the name of the file or whatever you want to store in this variable, argv, whatever you want to store over here, you have to pass it along in the command line itself. Okay, so if its length is less than 2, that is, if its length is 1, that means you have not passed anything in the command line. So it should print standard error, that file that you have not passed anything. Okay, uh, otherwise what will happen is return equal to stat. So stat, fstat, lstat, so these three are there. So it will return the status of whatever you have passed as input in the command line. So you would pass the name of that file, abc.c, and status of that will be returned in the return variable. Okay, uh, if return is true, if status of that file is returned, then fine. Otherwise, p error stat, so it will generate errors. P error is a standard error uh, associated with the stat, that status of the file is not returned. Okay, uh, otherwise print, if status of the file is not returned, then error. Otherwise, what to print? Print the size of the file. You can see, so it is returning something, sb.st underscore size. So that is the size of the file over here. So sb was passed here and its size. Basically, it is a structure. Okay, structure that we have discussed earlier over here. Say st underscore size. So this is the structure named sb in that program, and sb dot st underscore size is the structure variable where you have, where it will return the size of that structure, size of that file basically. uh, okay, so they are executing this. So this is a execution dot backslash stat, name of the file, name of the program that you want to execute, and this is the first command, first argument that you are passing in the command line. So this is the first argument. So argv over here argv1 will keep stat.c in its variable, right? So stat.c is 392 bytes, so it is printing over here. argv1 is start.c is how many bytes? So sb.st underscore size, which is 392 bytes over here. I hope this program is clear. So I'll share with you this book. This book is really good. You will find all the system programming in this book itself. Okay. So any doubts?